afternoon, good evening everyone. Welcome to the second episode of Sova Nerdy Crafts. My name is Klara. I am coming to you from Czech Republic, which is a small country in the heart of Europe. And I live here in the second largest city, Brno, in a flat along with my boyfriend and our dog. And this podcast is dedicated to crafting, mostly knitting, crochet, also some sewing, embroidery, and some other crafts that I might encounter, because I am not only a knitter and a crocheter, but I'm also a beginner cosplayer, so I'm trying a lot of new stuff due to that. Today I have some finished objects, I have some old works in progress, some new works in progress. I have quite a small amount of new acquisitions, which is great. And then I want to dedicate this episode also to show you my Make 9 of this year, which is not a Make 9, but more like Make 18. I've been ambitious, but so far I think I'm doing quite good. So I will talk a little bit about that. So yeah, welcome. It's nice to see you for the second time, or nice to see you for the first time if you're new here, and let's do this. Okay, so let's start with finished objects. By the way, I adjusted the light a little bit in the meantime because I noticed that it wasn't very nice. It didn't look too good. So yes, before we do that, I want to speak a little bit about what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a ranunculus by Midori Hirose. It's a top, 3/4 sleeves, and it's faded. I made it last year. Let's show you the full color, or at least try to. I made it last year from like yarn that I had from one of the advent calendars that I had. It was by Priadka, and it featured one ball, one skein of yarn for every advent Sunday. So I made this ranunculus using those skeins. These are not colors. These are not colors that I would pick by myself. It's blue with gray, and then it goes to some like pink and brownish, etc. But I experimented with it and I had fun, and at the end I really loved the result, and I use and I wear this top quite a lot. So I thought, you know what, let's not stick to just our comfort colors perhaps, and let's experiment, and the result can be very surprising. So that's what I'm wearing today. And by the way, I definitely plan to make more ranunculuses, more tops like that, because it's very nice. I only need to figure out the neckline a little bit better, because this is not bad, but I want to have it like wider, as most of people have when they knit this, for whatever reason. Even though I used the bigger option, I didn't end up having this nice wide neckline, but I will figure that out for the next time for sure. Okay, so finished objects. Again, I have my little cheat sheet here to make sure that I talk about everything and I don't skip anything. Yeah. So first I will start with a small project. I finished the socks from last time. These are vanilla socks. I'm using pattern Basic Socks That Rock by Petra Machová-Kouřelová. She's a Czech knitwear designer, and she made this very easy pattern, and I practically use it for every single vanilla socks that I make. This is a gift for someone. I'm not going to tell who, but yeah, they will stay with me for a little while and then they will go to their owner. I used the Signature 4-ply self-striping yarn from West Yorkshire Spinners. It's a country birds collection, and this one is called Peacock. I guess you can tell. And yeah, it's very easy to knit with it. I really love the result. You don't have to think about anything. The yarn just changes in your hands, so it's more fun. You keep knitting because you want to see how the next stripe or next color is going to look like. So yeah, this is always nice to use. And by the way, these vanilla socks are always like my traveling project. I am commuting to work, not like a long way, around 20 minutes, but I like to use the time knitting on something simple and something that is not heavy to carry around. So usually I have a pair of socks, and every time I'm commuting or I'm traveling somewhere, I typically knit on these socks, and I get some rows done every morning, every afternoon when I go back home, and it grows, and it's nice to see like a side project from this like time that I would spend traveling anyway. So yeah, that's the first thing. The second object that I have here is, yeah, the test knit that I was showing you last time. I mentioned it has a deadline, so I really have to finish it. So here you go, a finished sweater called Bracken sweater. It's a pattern by Tanya Barley, aka the Wool Barrow on Instagram. The pattern is not out yet. I believe that the deadline was like 3 days ago for us test knitters, so she's planning to release the pattern in May, so very soon. Yeah, this is how the finished object looks like. I used 2 strands, one of Nutiden and second one of Ito Sensai, which is mohair. So first the Nutiden. As you saw, it's a color work sweater, so there are 2 colors. So I used this as a contrast color. It's colorway Growth, and along with it I carried this this little mohair, Ito Sensai. So the Nutiden is 100% unspun wool, and the mohair, Ito Sensai, is 60% mohair and 40% silk. So this was the contrast color. And for the main color, I used this Nutiden again. It's a colorway Gillen Gras, and with it I used slightly darker mohair because I wanted to have also a darker like finished results to have more contrast between the 2 colors. And this one is called Gold Oak. Yeah, so that's my main color. And yeah, the result, as you can see, the main color is somewhere in the middle. It's like a very yellowish brown color, and yeah, with the light green I think it makes a very nice color combination. There is also a little bit of colors going on the neckline, on the sleeves, and on the bottom hem, which is the corrugated ribbing. Basically that means that you are not working the ribbing as usual, but you work one of the colors as knit stitches and the other as purl stitches. It is not stretchy as the normal ribbing is, but it's you know, giving this nice detail at the bottom or in the neck. So it looks really nice. I'm very happy how it ended. The sweater itself is quite warm and rustic, of course, so it's not for the most sensitive people. I can wear it, I'm used to that, although I think that maybe a year ago I wouldn't be able to, but with my own knits I desensitivized a little bit. So yeah, I'm able to use it. But now we finally have nice weather here, we finally have spring, so I don't think I will use it either for maybe like colder nights, or then when autumn's here I will start wearing this a little bit more. But yeah, very, very happy about it. It fits really nice. I will place a picture of me wearing it somewhere and yeah, so you can see. So yeah, that's the biggest thing of the day. This one is finished. And by the way, I was working it mostly on 3.5mm needles, but the color work on 4.0mm needles, because I tend to, yeah, my tension is different for color work, so I have to switch between sizes for that. Okay, and the last finished object, it's not knitted, it's sewn. So I'm getting ready for a convention, for a anime convention next weekend. It's called Anime Fest. It's here in Brno, where I live, and it's like a weekend festival full of imagine it's like a Comic Con, so you will get a lot of stuff related to fantasy, anime, comics, superheroes. There will be people in cosplays. There will be a lot of like lectures around different things, crafting, literature, fantasy worlds, and yeah, there will be a cosplay competition. There will be a lot of things. We are going there for Friday and Sunday, so I decided that I will make myself a new costume, and I'm working on that. It's a cosplay of Pike Trickfoot from Legends of Vox Machina, which is a D&D campaign by Critical Role, and they also made a series because they are really successful as D&D players. And Pike is my favorite character, perhaps. She's a gnome. She's a very cute character, and she's usually wearing armor and some like blue and white clothes underneath. I didn't make the armor yet, that I didn't have the time, but I thought that I will make like a civil version of her, wearing just, you know, the casual clothes, like if she would be just chilling somewhere in the city, she wouldn't wear armor for sure. So I managed to make the shirt, and now I'm working on the pants. So the shirt is my last finished object for the day. It's a very simple linen shirt with gathered sleeves, and yeah, it's not even that that long. It's full of threads apparently, but yeah, I made it a little bit like shaped to have waist, but other than that it's just rectangles with some little sleeves, and to make it a little bit interesting, I made a very okay, so the sleeves, I'm quite proud of them because they are nicely gathered, to my standard nicely gathered, and I also made a little bit of embroidery there. I also considered to make embroidery here on the neckline, but then I realized that she's wearing like a scarf, so it wouldn't be too visible. So yeah, this is done. It's linen, basic fabric. So yeah, first piece finished for that costume. And that's about it. That's what I managed to make during April. I'm still very happy. At least 2 knitted things out of my big pile of works in progress. And yeah, this costume is quite on deadline, so I also wanted to make a nice progress on it. Yeah, so we can move to the works in progress now. So we can move to works in progress. The way how I would summarize the month of April in terms of whips. I wanted to focus on finishing as many of them as possible. I didn't manage that. I started some new ones and they completely took over me. So you will see some old ones that will perhaps not show much of progress, and you will see some new ones that will surprisingly show a lot of progress. There are two projects that I didn't work on at all that I showed you last time, so I won't be showing them now. I will just say it's the Mandala shawl that is a Christmas gift anyway, so I didn't really prioritize it at all, and I don't have to, so it's really going to be a, you know, fun, relaxed project for me. And the second one is Aurora shawl that I'm kind of sorry about because I really love it and I want to wear it as soon as possible. But I had a little accident with it. At the beginning of April, there was like a social knitting at the cafeteria here in Brno, and I took it with me to work on it because I am now at the section, I don't know how much, but it's one of the easiest sections, so I don't have to focus on it much. So you would think that I would be running through it like quickly. No, I didn't. I took it with me to this event, and then I realized I put the needles of it because I needed it on another project, so I couldn't work on it at all. Luckily I had socks with me, so at least I had a project to work on there. But yeah, that was a little bit like a bummer to me. So I didn't work on Aurora much since then. So she's not featured here. Yeah, that's the reason. But I need to work on her, on the shawl a little bit more, because I want to wear it for our little photo shoot that we will have with all the members of this call in June. So her time will come soon. But anyway, in the meantime, what I did, I am on track with my Charlotte Dreams blanket, which is the biggest project that I'm working on by far. And I made the 11th square out of 12. So yeah, it features 3 colors. This like brown that is here, gray brown, is a main color, and these two white and gray are contrast colors. So the white and gray are going to be on all the 12 squares, the same color, but the main color I switch between this and petrol color. So 6 squares will be like this and 6 will have petrol color. So the plan for May is to finish this 12th square, then I will stitch it together to have the full blanket, and then I have around 4 like hem rows, and it will take a lot of time too. So I would love to have this done by the end of summer. I think it's realistic, but it will require some will to do that. So yes, this pattern is by Dedri US. It's for free, available on the net, so you can find it on Ravelry. It will take you to her webpage where you can find the pattern completely for free. Yeah, I'm using Drops Lima. For that, as I mentioned, there are 4 colors featured. So these two are the contrast colors. It's a color 90-20 for this like silver, and 90-15 for this gray. And for the main colors, the one you saw, this one is 53-10. It's like brown, gray brown. And the last one This is the most contrasty of them all. This is 0701. I like a dark petrol color, so it brings a lot of color into this whole like very subtle combination. So this is how it looks all together. So that's my first whip, the oldest one. Continuing with the old ones, the Nivalis sweater, my very unfortunate project that I frogged 2 times already. Poor thing, it has emotional burden on it, but I managed to work on it anyways. So, Nivalis pullover, it's by Teti Lutsak, which is Ukrainian designer. She's making beautiful, delicate designs using very nice colors, very like beautiful and gentle motifs, a lot of florals, etc. So my sweater, as I said, it has some emotional burden on it. I already ripped it twice. First time it was too small, so I had to change the size. Second time I think I had wrong tension on the color work, so yeah, again I had to change it. But this is for the 3rd time. I'm not frogging it anymore, although there is one thing that's bothering me a lot, but I know that if I would frog it for the 3rd time, I would never ever cast it on again. So I will go with it, but I will tell you what's the problem. So, as I said before, I have different tension when I work color work than when I work just one color. I estimated over time that the difference of the needles that I need is 0.5 millimeters. So, as I said, for example, for the Bracken sweater, I was working on 3.5 needles, the whole sweater, and then on 4.0 the color work, because I just, my tension is bigger when I work color work. So you would say I would use this, I would do the same for this one. I didn't. I don't know why. So the color work was worked on 3.5. For whatever reason, I cast it on and I started this whole thing on 3.25 millimeters. So the difference was not big enough. It's not very visible from the front, but from the back there is this area that's clearly like wrinkled. It's much, you see the fabric is way less dense, and if I take it like this, it's clear that it's like bigger than what's next. I sincerely hope blocking will help with that, because as I said, I'm not ripping it again. I'm just gonna make it work somehow. I don't know how, but I will. So yes, anyways, when we last spoke, I was here where my progress marker is, at the end of the color work. Since then I separated for sleeves and I made maybe 7 centimeters of the body. So I'm now on this beautiful, beautiful mindless section that I really love, when I can just knit through the body until the length is enough and then finish it. Now, the plan that I have with this sweater is to work it slightly differently than the original says. I want to make it cropped, as most of my sweaters, because I wear them a lot with skirts or dresses, so it feels nice to have that figure that will still show a little bit of waist, like peeking from the sweater. And yeah, so this is what I need to observe now to make it not too long. And then I would like to make balloon sleeves. I find that very flattering for me, and I love balloon sleeves in general. So maybe all my sweaters, unless I'm test knitting for someone, I will have balloon sleeve now, because I just really love it. I feel very comfortable in it. Yeah, it boosts my confidence. Yeah, so that's what I plan with it. Yes, yarn. So I'm using Devonia 4-ply from Arbon Textiles, which is a fingering weight. It feels very thin, to be honest, but it's a fingering weight. So my colors are, the main one is Glade. It's like a forest green, I would say, dark forest green. And then I have this this yellow one, and that's pollen gold. And I just realized I can show you the yarn, right? Because I have it here. So this is the pollen gold. It's very interesting because it has like a lot of yellow, of course, it has a little bit of orange, but it also has like dark, I would say, maybe dark green or black, like fibers in it. So it's actually quite like a cold undertone to it, yeah. So even though it's called gold, it's a very interesting color. And the Glade looks like that. And this is, by the way, oops, full skein. I am very impressed how little I have used so far. So I only started a second ball of the main color somewhere here. So it's really, I have 3 of them, and I don't think that I will use them. Because I don't plan to make like a very long body, so yeah, so this is going somewhere. Finally, this is going somewhere, although I didn't spend much time on it. Yeah. So that's the second thing that I work on more or less consistently. Oh, by the way, I have a bag that was made by my mom, so I have a lot of them. Next one. Where's my next one? Here. Oops, sorry. Okay. Okay. Socks. Called cabled trellis socks. Last time when we spoke, I had about this. Now I made perhaps 10 rows. So yeah, socks for my boyfriend. Pattern comes from the pattern collection West Knits Year of Socks 2023. I didn't work on it much, obviously. So yeah, this is the reason why is that there are like cables, so I need a cable needle. So this is not something that I would carry for traveling. So I'm not picking it up as often as I should. I'm using 2 colors. One is leftovers from Arwetta with this in this like gray, and second is this Zauberball Crazy, which is like a fade between khaki, gray. There is some very light gray, some dark gray. So it will lead to a very subtle combination. I think it's already quite visible. When you check it, you see that at the beginning the rows are pretty visible, but then they go, because now I'm at this gray color in that contrast one even, so the contrast is going down, and there will be a section where there will be hardly noticeable that there are 2 colors, but then it will fade again to a bit bigger contrast. So yeah, I am using 2.0 millimeter needles because my tension is very low, so I tend to make everything oversized. So I am using very small needles for socks, and yeah, that's about it. Hopefully this one will get better next time. I'll see. Okay, now on to the new peeps. I will start with my traveling project. Guess what it is? It's a pair of socks that I made too small. So I wanted to make these socks for myself, and they are too small, so they will be for my mom. She already tried it. She has smaller feet than I, so yeah, this is how they look like. I used 2 leftover yarns. So first, progress. First one's done, second one almost at the end of the leg ribbing, so soon to be finished, of course. I'm using Jawoll from Lang Yarns. It's a leftover from, I think I got it as a gift. First I used it for a pair of mittens, but I only used a very small amount, and since then I'm using it as a leftover for everything, like stripe there, sock ribbing elsewhere. So now it finally looks like a leftover, and I will use it for the second sock, so that will be perhaps most of it used. And the second yarn that I am working this from is okay, it's again from West Yorkshire Spinners Signature 4-ply Country Birds collection, Blue Tit. Self-striping yarn again, and that's for the body. So the yellow I used for ribbing, for heel and for the toe, and the self-striping for the rest of the sock, hoping that it will be enough to make these 2 socks, and then I will consider this done, used, busted, etc. So yeah, and the pattern again as the previous one. Hello, we have a doggo, but you can't see her. Sirinko. Oh no, I'm sorry. So the pattern again is Basic Socks That Rock by Petra Machová-Kouřilová. Yes, my dear doggo. Okay, let me do something. Oops. So this is what I'm working with. This is what I'm working with now. Are you going to help me? No? No, she will just stare at me. Never mind. So that's another work in progress. Another new one is a crocheted shawl, Allyanna shawl. The pattern is from Sis Homemade, which is a duo of Polish crochet designers, and I really love their work. They also designed the mandala shawl that I'm working maybe a 5th or 6th copy of already. And yeah, now I'm trying something new from them. So I casted this on maybe 3 weeks ago, when I realized that I want to make a gift for a friend. And I need this gift to be done next month. So I prioritized this. I was working on it, and yes, it's maybe 2/3 done. Really love it. This is the rest of the colors, so you can see it starts with purple and then through beige and this light blue, aquamarine, whatever, will go to this petrol color. So yeah, very soon to be finished. I'm using yarn Kokonek soft Akryl Soft, sorry, from Kokonki Motki, which is a Polish yarn company, and they're doing these rainbow yarns. I believe I received this ball as a gift, this skein as a gift, because used to order a lot. We usually consolidated orders from a couple more of us, like friends that crochet as well. So when I placed an order, it was 20 plus skeins of yarn, and it was very big, apparently even for their standards, so they always added a skein as a gift. Usually these were acrylic, which is not my material of choice, but it's very soft, and I know that maybe some of my friends that are not as used to wear these homemade, handmade, crocheted or knitted things, they could feel like better wearing something super soft. So yes, this is a project that I will finish very soon. It kind of matches my top today. And yeah, I'm using 3.5 hook for that. Maybe I can show you even the hook here. Yeah, I have this one from a friend. It's very comfortable. It's by Tulip, which is quite decent brand that makes very comfortable and high quality hooks. So this is basically the only hook that I'm using, because I crochet everything on 3.5 millimeter, and unlike needles, you can just take it off and use it on another project in 2 seconds, right? So I don't need more. I only have to, you know, be very careful about not losing it, and I hope I just didn't jinx it. So that's this. And then my second cast on of this month that turned into obsession almost is another sweater. So I finished the Bracken sweater, so I had to reward myself with a new sweater cast on. New sweater cast on, yes. It's, maybe let's just change it like this. It's so nice. It's so nice. So let's tell you about this obsession of mine. This is called the No Place Like Gnome sweater. It's by Martina Maskova. Yes, she's a Czech knitwear creator and occasional designer. Her aesthetic is amazing, full of colors, full of cute things, and I just love the positive energy that emanates from it. It's so beautiful. She created also a couple of patterns, and this one I think was released last year. From the moment it was released, I knew I had to make it. It's full of like gardening little doodles. Yeah, so at the beginning there are these garden gnomes, then there is like a fence. These are strawberries, another fence. Now I'm working on pears. There will be watering can, there will be some flowers. Yes, I'm just obsessed. So I casted it on to demonstrate how much I fell in love with it. I casted this on 6 days ago. Since then, I almost didn't work on anything else. I just had to, it didn't allow me to stop. It didn't allow me to grab something else. There are several reasons why. First, as I said, the design itself is super positive, super joyful. So, you know, just the fact that there are these little doodles and then you just go through them and you're just curious what will happen next, what colors are you going to grab next. That's something that keeps me going on its own. Second, I was quite hyped because I knew I wanted to do this like for a year. I bought the yarn maybe 6 months ago, so I had it for a very long time, so I was very much into casting this on, and one day I just didn't feel very well. I was under the weather, so I thought, you know what, I just need a new cast on. I cast it on this. It did everything that I needed that day. It lifted my mood. It brought me so much joy. And since that day, I was just working on this, and I'm hoping to finish it during this spring still, so I can wear it at least a little bit. But given the speed I'm going through this, I think it's possible. So this is the second reason. Third reason are needles. Last month I invested in the set of Chiago needles, and this is the first project that I'm working on those needles. I didn't believe it, but I can honestly say it makes a difference now. They're not too pointy, not enough pointy, like pointy enough to be very comfortable working through the yarn. They are very well balanced. The cables are very like flexible and comfortable. They are not, you know, going all over the place. So this is another reason why I really enjoy the knit. And the last reason, honestly, I think, is the yarn that I want to talk a little bit more about now. So let me just take all my colors out. So I'm using Jamieson Smith 2-ply jumper weight yarn. These are 25-gram skeins, and they are quite toothy, sticky. They are definitely not for sensitive people, but their colors are just out of this world. So I will show you what colors do I use. The sweater calls for 1 main color and 6 contrast colors in total. So it's not the easiest to kind of combine, but this, for example, since this is like 25 grams skein, you usually use just one. I think in my size you use just one for each of these colors. It's not as pricey as if you would be using yarn that comes only in 50-gram or 100-gram skeins. Yeah, imagining buying 6 of them just to use 50 meters, for example. So it's a fingering weight. It's 115 meters per this 25 grams, and it's real Shetland wool 100%. Now, onto my colors. Their palette is very wide, and a lot of their colors are like melanges, mixtures of more colors. So you can see like highlights here and there of different color. And I used mostly those, so I will show you. But before, I have 2 solid colors here. First is white. It's 1A ecru, and it's only used for the beard and the belt of the gnome, so this is basically already my leftover. My second solid color is the red. Let's use slightly more. You can see it's already wonky. It's shade 9097. It's used for the gnome hats, gnome boots. There is, as I said, there is a strawberry. I think there are some flowers too, so I will still use a little bit of that. And the rest of my colors are these melanges. So first is this like aquamarine green, which is like a cold undertoned green with some gray highlights. It's really beautiful. I use it to substitute like standard green in this pattern. There's some leaves. There are these pears that are supposed to be green. So this is my color for that. The reason is that the original sweater is knitted as a yellow one, so the main color is yellow, and then I believe that my main color is used there as a green. But yeah, since I have this like very springy green as my main color, I had to be creative. So this is my green. The next color is this. Ooh. Let me show. Shades Remix. This is like a complexion, I would say. It's like a beigey, pinkish, peachy color. I only use it for the faces of the gnomes. So again, this is already fully used. This is my leftover, so I will need to figure out what to do with this one. But yeah, it's like a pink with some light beige highlights. Also a melange color. Then I have my blue, and I love this color. Yeah, so this is 366 turquoise. It's, I don't know if it has a main color. I think it does. This turquoise is perhaps the main color, but it has yellow, pink, violet, maybe even orange in it. So many different like shades of colors, and I use it as blue. So my gnomes have their little like gardening sets out of this one, and the watering can will be also blue. So that's the blue one. Then I have my, oh okay, this one is attached to the sweater now because I'm working it. I have my brown for the fences. It's so beautiful, very rich color. Again, it's like a ginger orangey brown with some yellow highlights, and I use it mostly for my their fences. And there is also, I believe, the tops of the pears out of this brown. And the last color that I want to show you is my main color, of course. Is this beautiful springy green. Base is green, but it has a lot of like orangey and yellow fiber in it, so it creates this like really very fresh green color in total. I have 8 of these. Yes, 8 of these. I finished 2. I'm in the 3rd one now, so I'm very curious how many I will need, but I'm glad I have more than perhaps would be my estimation, because I plan to do balloon sleeves very originally again, so I will need a little bit more than it's written in the pattern. And I have my dog here again. Do you want this? Do you want this? Is it for you? Oh, we have a friend here today. Again. No, not interested. Okay, that's good, because I'm done with this sweater. Okay, so these were my colors, aka the 4th reason why I really love knitting on it, because I just love, you know, switching between them, seeing the combinations, and the growing result. The stage that I'm at now is that the pattern tells you that most likely you will be separating for sleeves under this fence, but you need 23 centimeters for my size to do that, and I was on 20 only. So I am still going through one more motif, I guess, before I do that. So I'm now around 5 rows from separating the sleeves, and then I will be working some more color work on the body. I don't think there is any color work on the sleeves, so I will keep it like that. I'm already a little bit worried about the brown one, because I will still need it quite a lot. So I hope I will have enough, but the rest seems to be very, very well in terms of the quantities. So yes, this was my most, as you can tell, the VIP, the VIP I'm the most excited about, and the reason why I wasn't working on anything else much last week, maybe. So yeah, and it's housed in this beautiful, beautiful bag by Bad Omens, which is a brand on Etsy. I don't think the shop is on anymore. Yes, but yeah, beautiful design, like witchy boots and some like other motifs. Love it. Yes. So the dog is still with us, so I apologize if I look in the weird way. And last thing that I have here as work in progress is a sewn object, and it's I don't know how to show you. It's pants. It's pants. Yeah, it's cotton fabric, sewn through here in these rectangles. I did it on a sewing machine because I want the pants to have like a padded armor feel, and it's for Pike Trickfoot, so for the festival that I was talking about. I have most of the work done. I only need to sew these like leg sleeves, is it called leg sleeve? Together, work on the waistband, and then it will be done. Hopefully today, because I need to wash it and I want to wear it next Sunday, which is in 6 days, right? So yeah, I will talk about it a little bit more on the next episode when I will have the full cosplay together. So yeah, last tip, we made it. Okay, welcome to the shortest section of today's podcast, which is going to be about the new acquisitions. I did buy some stuff, but it didn't arrive yet, so I will show you later. But the one thing that I want to show you are some new additions to my yarn stash that happened almost by accident, basically. So during March and April, I ran a little workshop in our company dedicated to knitting and crocheting, and I was teaching my colleagues some basics, those colleagues that were interested. And our company sponsored this, and I managed to buy some yarn, and I also added some skeins from my stash to have like variety, and I ended up with some leftovers from that. So it's, you know, I gave to that common stash maybe like 10 skeins of my yarn that I knew I wouldn't use anymore, and then I had some new ones that I bought, and these left. So I will add them to my stash instead of those that I took, and see if I manage to find out a project for them. So these are all Jawoll from Lang Yarns. So this is sock yarn. It's 75% wool, 25% nylon. It's very, the reason why I picked this is it's a very decent yarn for like budget friendly, yeah, yarn. So I have 6 of them now in my stash. I have 2 very like subtle color. This is like a warm gray beige. This is like a very light gray. So these are 2 of them. Then I have a red, and then I have these crazy colors here. So a very like bright yellow, very bright green, and like a mint color. So these might be some future very fun socks that I will knit for someone or for myself. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, all for my acquisitions of the month. Proud of myself, very proud of myself. And as promised, last section of today's podcast will be dedicated to my plans for this year. I know it's already 4 months through the year, so we are already 1/3 done. Wow. Time flies, okay, but I want to show you what my plans are. So I am a big fan of this Make 9 philosophy system, where you basically make like a little collage of 9 projects that you want to make this year, and then you stick to it, ideally. I did it last year for the first time, and I actually did 8 out of those 9 projects. And I didn't do the 9th because for whatever reason I picked like a shawl that I liked, but not too much, but I thought I have some yarn in my stash that could go well with it, and then I didn't feel like doing it anyways, so I scratched that maybe in March and April already of last year, and then I just focused on those 8s. Plus I made like tons of other projects last year, a lot of test knits, etc. So this year I created my Make 9. Basically, these were all projects that I fell in love with throughout last year, and I just kept, you know, writing them down, and then I just picked 9 out of them that I liked the most. Then I realized, you know what, these are just given now, right? I will have to do them. I will be focusing on them because I really want them. But then I know I want to attend some knit-alongs. I want to stash bast, which, you know, I want to use the yarn from my stash, but it's not fitting these projects too much. I want to do some commissions because I have some friends that are interested in knitwear, and they are close enough to make me want to make things for them, but also considerate enough to actually offer some nice compensation to me. So I had around 3 commissions, and I wanted this to be also a priority for me. So something that I call the other Make 9 appeared. So I ended up having like this Make 18th. First 9 are the standard Make 9 projects. Second is more like a grid of things that I want to dedicate some time on, but I don't necessarily know what these things will be yet. Perhaps too complicated, but I will talk about it in detail. Okay, so let's start with this traditional Make 9. I have 9 projects. One of them is a shawl. 1, 2, 3, 4 are cardigans and 4 are sweaters. So all are big projects. I will go one by one the way I have them in my 9 grid, but you'll see the progress is different. Yeah. So the first is the No Place Like Gnome sweater that I was talking about sooner. So this very nice sweater with garden motifs in progress. I won't speak about it anymore. I love it. Second one is Bookish Cardi. It's a cardigan by Annie Lupton, aka Boho Chic Fiber Co. She's a designer that is very well known on the Instagram. I actually discovered her thanks for her funny reels and started following her, and last year she released this beautiful cardigan for DK weight. So I want to make it for myself because I feel like it would be really nice to wear it with skirts and dresses again. And I want to make it like in a very, maybe a similar color as this sweater here, but maybe more rich. So like a again, very orangey brown color, a copper color perhaps. So that's my plan. I don't have the material yet. I don't know when I will cast this on, but it's happening. It's happening. I really want it. The third one is Unbearable Hoodie by Maxime Sir, one of the members of Les Garçons, which is a designer duo from Canada. It's this piece is maybe a reason why I started knitting like a year and a half ago. I saw it on Instagram and I was like, you can do this. I want to start learning that. So this piece is on my to-do list since then. I just didn't feel like I know enough to actually do it. Now I feel I do, hopefully. So I already made one sweater from Max last year, so I think I will manage this year. I don't have the color scheme yet. I am thinking about using Malabrigo Arroyo. I think the sweater is for the sports weight yarn, and I love Malabrigo because it's so soft and very nice to wear. I have one sweater from it already, so this might be another piece. Excuse me. Not enough oxygen. Okay, so that's another one that's still somewhere in the queue. A fourth piece is Moorland Cardigan. That's done. That's a piece that I was showing on the first episode. It's my first ever cardigan that I made, steeked, worked from unspun yarn. It went well. I really love the piece, so it was basically the first thing that I completed from my Make 9. The next one, it's going to be perhaps the most challenging piece. It's a cardigan as well. It's a Possibility of Crows cardigan by Harper B. They are a very talented designer making things inspired by witches, Dungeons and Dragons, and all kinds of like fantasy stuff, which is very close to me. And this is like a long cardigan from worsted weight. Worsted? Yes, worsted weight. And my boyfriend picked it as something that he wants me to make for him. There are some challenges here. First, he's very sensitive. So basically the only yarn that didn't scratch him so far was Malabrigo. Second thing, this cardigan has color work. So I assume, I didn't see the pattern yet, that it will be worked in rounds and then it will be steeked. And something tells me that steeking Malabrigo, which is very slippery, would be a challenge, an adventure. Yay! I don't know. So this is going to be perhaps something that I will really need to think through. And on top of this, I decided that I will perhaps change the motif on the back for something custom, and I'm now working on that design. So we'll see. But this is going to happen maybe in later stage of this year. Yeah, not very soon. Next one is something that's very high on the queue. It's a Ravenclaw sweater by Megan Regan. I already have the Slytherin sweater from her. I really love it. It's a fingering. I think her pattern is either for fingering or DK, you can pick. So I want to make this fingering because that's the weight that I get the most wear of. And I am a Ravenclaw. I am just one of those geeks and nerds and people that spend a lot of time in other worlds and books. So I am definitely a member of the Ravenclaw College or house. So I will, I'm sorry, dog's here again, and you might hear her whining. She wants my attention. Yes. Sorry. So I already have yarn for this project. It's by Atik Yarn, which is a Czech yarn dyer. She's a lady that I follow for a very long time on the Instagram. Amazing aesthetic, and she started dyeing her yarn, and she has color themes. And when she released The Witcher, my apologies, my camera stopped recording for a moment, so I will try to pick up from where I stopped. So I was talking about Atik Yarn and about the Witcher collection that she released, and I immediately knew that I just need to buy something from her. And when I saw the colors, I decided that I will buy stash for my Ravenclaw sweater. So let me present you the colors. Ta-da! So very, very beautiful. My main color is going to be this blue that has some speckles in it, and it's 75 superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% silver stellina. This colorway is called Vernon, after Vernon Roche, who's the leader of the Blue Stripes of Temeria, which is a country in the Witcher world. So that's my main color, and my contrast is this beautiful gray, and you can guess what the name of the color of this color is. It's Geralt. Yeah, so this is the Grey Wolf himself. It's really beautiful. So this sweater is soon to be casted on. That's number 6. Moving on to number 7, Woodlark shawl, the only shawl of my first Make 9, which is by Fiber Tales, a very beautiful design featuring color work, some how to call it, like texture elements as well. And I actually plan to make this in a color scheme of Anna from Frozen, from the fairy tale, and I want to use it as like a gentle cosplay of her, because I really love the character. So that's the only shawl. I don't have any material yet, so yeah, that's the color picking is still in progress on this one. Number 8 is the Nivalis sweater that I was showing you, so my work in progress, my little cursed project that I will be working on perhaps for a longer while, but I'm slowly progressing, so yeah. And the 9th, I'm trying to be more quicker, just not to spend 2 hours here. The 9th one is Stria Cardigan by Andrea Mori. And the plan that I have with this one is to pick a nice neutral main color, or neutral-ish. And then for those stripes, I want to use some of the Advent minis that I have from December. So we'll see how this will go. And the one thing that I noticed when I liked the aesthetic, yeah, I liked how it looks like, so I added it into the Make 9, and then recently I was kind of thinking, like, you know what's the pattern? How do I do this exactly? Because it has this like kind of interesting ribbing, and I learned that it uses half fisherman rib. I never done anything like that. I never done brioche, fisherman rib, half fisherman rib, nothing of that sort. So I am quite curious about how this will go. So this is perhaps also going to be one of the more challenging and time-consuming patterns that I will be working on later this year. So yeah, that's the traditional Make 9 that I plan. But I also mentioned that I have the other one, and that's slightly different in the way I set it up. As I said, these are more like categories than the specific projects, but I already have most of them planned anyway. So the first one is a commission, a golden hole shawl for a friend. I made one of these last year as a test knit for Nicole Lark in York. She is a very special lady, a big fan of Lord of the Rings, so most of her designs pull from that world, from that setting, and she made already a bunch of them, and this golden hole shawl was the first one. It's a very big triangular shawl featuring some cables, and it looks amazing. I made myself for me last year in a khaki colorway, and my friend saw it and she basically asked me if I can make one for her as well. She's still picking her colors. It will be something blue, petrol, turquoise-ish, so I'm curious what will she come with. And then yeah, it will be my turn to make it for the second time. So that's my first project. Second is already done. I don't have it with me, but it's called Marilena crop top. It's like a net, fingering yarn work on number 12mm needles, so it makes literally like a very loose, you know, fabric. It looks really like a net. I bought the pattern online on Etsy. It's not available there anymore, and honestly I wouldn't recommend it anyways. The patterns are basically two rectangles, then you sew together in different places so it makes like a top. The pattern didn't include any specific instructions on how to sew it together, how to calculate anything, because it had two sizes altogether, like an M and L size, and I needed something a little bit bigger, so yeah, it's done. It wasn't too much fun because I overall, more and more I figured that I'm not a big fan of big needles, but yeah, I will hand it over soon and that will be the end of it. So yeah. But I can tick it on my on my tracker. Next, third place, it was for knit along, so it's already taken by the Aurora shawl that is in progress and that I was talking about. A knit along by Vlnene Sestry with Steven West. That's ending at the beginning of June, so on top of the list. Next one is Wood Spirit Sweater. This is a stash busting project. I was looking to find something to use the rest of this. I spoke a lot. So this is the Nutiden that I also used for the Bracken sweater, but I still have around 5 of these plates, so I want to use it for something. And this Wood Spirit sweater, it looks so nice. It has some cables and like a tree pattern, and yeah, I saw it online, I fell in love, I need it. So it's by Katerina Riekel, aka Wildness Knits, I think, on the Instagram. Yeah, it calls for Aran weight, so I hope if I hold this double it will create what I need. We'll see. Number 5 is for another knit along with Caitlin Hunter. This knit along is hosted by Woolpoint, which is another Czech yarn shop in Prague, and they are always hosting like this full year knit along, and they basically give you a designer and you pick pattern from the designer, buy yarn from their shop of course, and then you make that design. I picked Nivalis sweater, which is like a short sleeve top with color work on the bottom, which I really loved, and the pattern features 3 colors. It has like a main color here, then it has like a contrasty hem, and then it continues with the 3rd color on the bottom. But I decided that these like 1st and 3rd color can be basically just one, and I can only focus on that contrast motif basically. So I will only use 2 colors. My contrast color will be the Spin Cycle yarn in colorway Love Spell that I bought last month, and I'm still looking for the main color, but I think it's going to be some like dark purple maybe. It will look very nice. So yeah, that's my plan for it. And approaching the finale, number 6 will be another ranunculus. So one more of these. I want to tweak some of the things that I didn't manage to do well on this first copy. I will perhaps again do some sort of balloon sleeve or something, but the colors will be very nice, I think. I have these. It's La Bien-Aimée singles. This color is called Air Guitar, and it's halfway like gray, and the other half are these neon colors. It was a Christmas gift from my boyfriend, and I am in love with them. So I decided that I will try to do quite like a crazy ranunculus out of them, and yeah, I have 3 of them. I think that's going to be way enough even for the long sleeve, and yeah, looking forward. Number 6 stands for another knit-along. That's going to be the Mysterious Knit-along with Stephen West, which takes place usually in October. So I have no information about that yet. I only have a blocked calendar for it for now. Number 8 is for Test Knit, so Bracken sweater right there, done. And number 9, the very last one, is also already done. It was a commission for a friend, and she asked me for knee-high socks, striped ones. I had a lot of fun because I took all my leftovers and I just combined them all together and made her a very, very, very long socks. And that's also completed. So if I calculated correctly, if I counted correctly, I have 1, 2, 4 things done, and maybe other 4 in progress. Yeah. And that's it. That's all for my plans for this year. I have a lot of things in plans. I have a lot of things in progress, but I really enjoy spending time doing this. So I'm positive that I will do most of them. Maybe not all, but most of them. And that also concludes today's episode. So thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you for listening to my little knitting, crocheting, sewing stories. And I will see you in the beginning of June, after the month of May. And by the way, I have some planned vacation in May. So I plan to work on my projects a lot. We will be going to a cottage in the nature with some friends. So I'm really looking forward to a lot of relax. And these friends are crafters too. So I'm sure that we will do a lot of crafting even during our, time spent together. So yeah, that's what's in plan for the next month. So I hope to see you again with a lot of new stuff. Enjoy the spring, enjoy the month of May, and speak to you soon. Bye bye.